Hey everyone, welcome to Tom Talks. So today I want to talk about a clip that I saw, Alex Hormozi being interviewed on a podcast about a tweet that he did where he references Queen Elizabeth and how she was one of the most influential people of our lifetimes. And the impact she had on those around her was monumental. But she's dead, and no one is thinking about her anymore. And what he kind of goes on to say is that like someone that influential, has that little impact after they die, that no one cares anymore. Like how important do you kind of think you are, right? That the decisions you make and the things you do ultimately don't really matter. In a separate interview, he talks about how, you know, if he was in the woods and killed by a bear, like his life just boils down to being one meal. Like that's all you are. You're just a meal. You die, you'll be worm food, or killed by a bear, you're bear food. And I think there's two takeaways you could have from that sentiment. The first takeaway is stop stressing. Stop stressing because it's ultimately not that important in the grand scheme of things, right? Like the decisions you make and the things you do, like humanity will continue. No one will remember who you are, what you did. It doesn't matter. The other way to think about that is it doesn't matter. So why do anything? It's not that important. You are a speck of dust, and who cares? Who cares? I think there's both value and danger in either of those thoughts. The first is that, like, yes, if something's stressing you out, like, it's not that big a deal, man. I had a staff sergeant when I was in the Marine Corps who used to say, it'll buff out. And he was always right. Like, hey, stop stressing. It'll buff out. Like, we'll get through it. It'll be fine. And he was always, always right. And so I think there's a ton of value in that when you're having a stressful time at work or you own a business and things aren't quite going right. Like, hey, the world isn't ending here. It'll keep going on. No one's going to look back and think of and remember this mistake that you made 30 years ago. Whatever. Don't stress. That's very helpful. But it's really also dangerous to say, what you do doesn't really matter because it's very nihilistic. And if we take that approach and think about life that way, then it's like, why do anything at all? Why get out of bed in the morning? It doesn't matter. Why not just sit on the couch and eat potato chips and, just find a way to get through life? Why even continue life if it doesn't really matter? And so I think we have to find a way to frame our existence so that we can find motivation while not allowing it to stress us so much that like you can't survive. Like every mistake is life changing. And so I think kind of the way we should think about our lives is that like we shouldn't live or exist at the macro level, right? Like my life is pointless unless I can change the world. We should try to shrink, and it's difficult to do because our world has expanded so much, right? You think 200 or 300 years ago, your world was like as far as you could walk in a day. And now our world is global. But I think we should try to shrink our world down and look at the impact we can have on those directly around us. It's like we should do our best so that we can support our family, so that we can help those immediately around us, so that we can present good examples to the kids in our lives, whether that's nieces and nephews or children or themselves or grandchildren. Like that is why we should do what we do. And when things get stressful and hard and you're concerned about a mistake that you made, it's like, sure, now put that in the context of the macro. Like, well, hey man, listen, the world's still turning. Humanity still exists. No one's going to remember this. Get up and make your world, your tiny little place on this planet, make that the best it can be. And stop stressing. So, hope that helps.